Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another cast done on behalf of StarCastTV by Diggity. Upper left hand corner we have Snow, Carriario 11. As the white Protoss, bottom left hand corner we have Rush, starting as the brown Terran. I think that was right. That's Rush's ID, I'd know by now. This is on Goodnight. I love games on Goodnight. Just has very interesting play overall. Here's a strong map for vultures in the early stages. Just being able to poke them into the natural expansion. Might as well go for the map reveal here. What? Try that again. Click, click. There we go. Natural expansion, you can get vultures in there. It's an okay gap to blockade, but then once you're past this, the third, you can see where it's just a lot of angles to engage from. The 12 o'clock location does have a ramp, so oftentimes I think Protoss will try to grab this map. Or grab this location, because it's at least got a smaller ramp to blockade that, but that creates a pretty wide territorial expanse to defend from that point on. But it's a large enough map. And the other interesting aspect of it is you just really, you can have some interesting fights over this inverted mineral only quite often, especially if you end up with tanks just sieged on those. Anyway, there's a lot of fun stuff that can happen on this map. It's a good map. It's a good map. Creates interesting play overall. Stop ranting about how great it is and we'll just let the players reveal its magnificence. Barracks being dropped. We have an assimilator and a gateway to start for Snow. And Rush sending out that initial SCV scout. See what direction he takes it. Or is he just gonna... Yeah, no, okay, he's gonna go... Will end up with first scout against Snow, making his way to the north. Snow gonna go for straight cybernetics core rather than building a zealot to start. So wants to try to get early dragoons, maybe a little map control as a result of it. That does mean we'll see if Rush, when he spots this and sees the cybernetics core, if he tries to go for a quick expansion in response. So wanders up, sees the cybernetics core, is building the initial marine and a supply depot. He's got still three, looks like he's still got the 3 SCV on gas. But rather than pulling SCV on gas, maybe he's going to go for a factory push here, because usually you'll see the pull off a little bit earlier, leaving 2 SCV on gas now, and building that initial factory. 1 marine on the low ground. And the first dragoon and range. And I think that was entirely spotted from Rush, so getting a lot of early information. 25 health left. Ooh, 15 health. Snow. I love Snow's early game probe micro. I think it's some of the best. Some of the best out there. Just vicious annihilation. Maybe wanting to also trail that SCV to find out where the initial spawn is. 2 Marines now out on the front, and it looks like that is going to be it. Is a bunker being constructed, the probe being pushed back, but now knows the location of the initial base. It would have been incredible mind games, actually, for Rush to try to move his Marines out of position down to the right to try to throw off the initial location. That would have been amazing. Anyway, range, finishing second Dragoon on the way. Probe wants to walk in and confirm. Sees that barracks floating, but it's going to go ahead and back out. Otherwise, no first Vulture, so no Vulture start. Looks like we're going to see straight to Machine Shop. In response to this overall, Dragoon gonna peek in, take a little bit of damage, but wants to make sure that that command center was there. Loses about half shield, no biggie. Next is follow-up and a Dragoon blockading just in case another SCV was somewhere out in the field, but right now Rush does not have another SCV that was out anywhere. Vultures and mines going to be the initial research target. We'll see if... Looks like we're going to see 1 gate, so 1 gate expansion into robotics facility. See if we see a Reaver follow-up or not. Vulture able to make it through the low end. Dragoon now getting in position. I'm not sure whether you saw that Vulture sneak through or not. But right now, nothing defending that natural expansion. Oop, backing up. I think I mistook this initially for Revolver, which is why I was like, ah, that natural expansion. But anyway. Vulture cycling its way through. Waiting on that mine upgrade, I think, before it wants to provoke any additional fights. 2 SCV off the line, just going to bleed off a couple minerals. Second pylon there, but not really enough to create a solid blockade. Second gateway behind the robotics facility, a shuttle is in fact being constructed. Which suggests we're going to see a robotic support bay. Reinforcements might have some trouble here as we got mines scattered. And if that siege tank and the Marines... So no additional Marines being constructed. So it'll be a while before there's really a threat to these Dragoons to push them back. You can see Snow is just kind of trying to dance and find potential mines out in the field to clear them. So now Rush moving out with the 2 Marines, the siege tank, to try to push these Dragoons into that minefield. Snow wisely... Well, I was going to say trying to exit to the south, but not feeling it. Somehow did he... Okay, there he didn't. I was about to say somehow found the gap, but they're losing a Dragoon. Now going to hold position. Robotic support bay blockading that front. Reaver being constructed to follow up. Still only a single factory. You have that +1 weapons being upgraded. Otherwise. And second gas being taken from Rush. Rush looks like he wants to play this very defensively. I'll be interested to see how well he does against the Reaver follow-up, because right now he's going to have... So he's just now building that second factory. The mines have been dropped by the vultures out in the field. Yeah, this has 0 mines left. Has okay coverage, but really has nothing to the bottom right to be able to spot. Ooh, that's an interesting pylon location as far as forward spotting. And we got 2 Zealots in the Reaver scooped up. Probe making its way out. And I think this was a probe acting like it was going out for that 9 o'clock, but it was actually to draw that vulture out of position to allow the shuttle through. So clever play there by Snow. Making its way. There is a turret with an engineering bay to cover. And this is where those 2 mines that... I don't know how well Snow remembers the mine placement from earlier. He has an eidetic memory or not. But starting to make his way towards the main. This is where I had some concern, because we've got just the 3 siege tanks to try to defend, and Snow can just be absolutely brutal with his Reaver play. Try to back it up. Checking the corners to see whether or not there's any turrets on the low ground. There's just the one hugging the natural. It looks like that. Surprisingly, so going for that mineral only, that's in the sunken position. Cancellation on the front, seeing that I would cancel that too. Couple pot shots against the supply depots. Reaver takes 1 shot at the corner of range. Looks like it's going to back out. Some repair now. And a mine to fill in. And so Snow, yeah, just pushing a lot of this back. An observer able to push up to at least see the mine coverage as well. I think it might have seen the factory count, the 3 factory count behind this. Speed just now starting, by the way, for the Vulture upgrade, and Snow not liking what he sees. Gonna draw back. That 12 o'clock location being checked by Rush. I'm wondering if once he sees that this interior... I'm wondering if this Vulture is going to reposition and find the 3rd. By the way, no comsat station as of yet. Second armory being dropped. A little bit of harassment between 2... Good mine clearage here by Snow. Going to go ahead and try to limit map vision and map control. And that also, knowing that Reaver's out in the field, will leave Rush a little bit uneasy. Just sitting on the 3 factory count, getting a control tower down. I presume that I don't think he's going to go drop as far as a follow-up. He's only got the 5 siege tanks, and I think he's going to just play for the 3-2 overall. Trying to find... both armories. +1 weapons has finished. He's got that second armory, yeah, just finishing that natural expansion. Granted, he could still go for 7 factories down the line, but I feel like if he was going for 7 factories, he would have been a little bit more on top of that, getting that +1 or that +2 started a little bit earlier. Snow now with 2 Reavers wanting to test and poke at that front. Maybe get maximum value, try to take out that turret, slow walk it. I think that siege tank is in perfect position to go ahead and deny it, but gonna try to stack up and maybe slow things down as long as possible. Yeah, there's that command center to go ahead and grab that mineral only nearby. So 3 base versus 3 base. 6 gateways overall. No movements from Snow as of yet. As far as a tech tour arbiter, we do see that Templar archives being dropped overall, but I think he might play this shuttle-wise, and I take it back. There is going to be a drop, so we got some vultures able to sneak in along that left-hand edge. That actually surprises me a little bit, considering how low the factory count was altogether. But Rush able to sneak it through, getting a handful of probe kills. The vultures actually stuck back with some zealots. Decent amount of kills that actually are evening up the worker count overall. But I think those vultures got a good look at the infrastructure and seeing mostly gateways. So we got 2 shuttles at least, and I'm wondering if this is going to be the shuttle response over the Arbiter response. Mid-map, another drop moving in. So drop 1 was okay, but a second drop and some ComSat as well. So a second round of vultures. Now in the main, Rush needs to be a little bit careful about this, because if he over-dedicates... Because first of all, that's a lot of gas to spend right there. I don't know that he's able to shut down some gas mining as far as a follow-up, but I guess the observer able to at least spot that command center being constructed. 6 factory count. But I don't know that that second vulture drop got a lot. Although Snow, with all of these gateways, hasn't really surged to a really scary supply lead count. And it looks like he was able to drop a few units in, but loses the shuttle with the drop. It'd be great if he could take out a siege tank with it, but overall this doesn't look like it's sufficient to halt Rush from just going ahead and pressing and grabbing that command center at the mineral only. The shuttle actually backing out, able to take out an SCV that was constructing the factories. 1 siege tank wiped out, and now, yeah, the big fight. This is where I was a little bit surprised by Rush dedicating those vultures, because I thought he would want to preserve them for this push right here. Especially because you've got, yeah, this kind of cliffside edge where you need those vultures and whatnot to push through, but some mines that were laid earlier, it looks like going to be able to wipe out some Dragoons, and the shuttle was wiped out earlier, so Snow having to give up position now at the 3rd, and Rush pretty well sealed up. He's got a lot, well, able to get some, I tell you what, Snow, just the master, able to sneak in. Yeah, the shuttle was firing, but able to find that soft spot, able to wipe out the turret, and now having a free-for-all on the SCVs at the main. This is Snow for you. I didn't think that was droppable, but Snow knew better. Great play. High Templar nearby, and actually with a little bit of shielding. Well, he's got to be careful that these vultures don't just scoop up and pick them off, but with a little bit of shielding, they could get some SCVs and siege tanks, depending. 12 o'clock base now being grabbed from Snow. Single vulture able to sneak in. I don't know that it's going to be able to... It'll be able to take out that probe, but the cannons should warp in before too long. A pylon being wiped out top right. Yeah, now we're going to see some movement. This could be a big play. Psystorm being dropped early on that forward siege tank, not catching a lot. I'm looking for a sweet spot Psystorm on the mineral line. High Templar went deep, but did not drop the Psystorm. Turret being wiped out, and a retreat there from Snow. That could have been a lot worse for Rush. But all of a sudden, with those 2 attacks, supply counts are even, and Rush has +2 weapons, +1 armor. And Snow still hasn't made any movements towards Arbiter tech, so he's trying to play Gateway Man, and that works really well when you have an economic lead, but right now he does not have that economic lead. Massive amount of siege tanks pushing things back mid-map. Somehow I think Rush recognizing that he's got the overall supply lead. Some vultures sneaking through to create some harassment. Just going to back out. He doesn't need to push anything. You can just wait for that upgrade advantage, waiting for +3 weapons. And right now, basically Snow looking for some Psystorm to drop favorable trades and just try to mitigate the damage overall. Rush just checking out the situation. I think he's already confirmed that he knows top right isn't up, but he's just checking out all the additional expansions to make sure that nothing's been snuck, that it is in fact 4 base versus 3 base. Now those gateways kicking in, and Snow actually pulling the SCVs off the main, so he's technically mining off 3 bases right now. Very zealot heavy, +1 weapons overall, is getting that Scarab explosion upgrade. Another expansion being grabbed at the mineral only. And I think the hope there is again, that Rush just plays defensively and doesn't flood any sort of vultures there. Nice harassment on the front to claim a little bit of territory. +2 armor just about to finish, which probably means +3 weapons. Yeah, not that far behind. We do have a lot of gateways constructed behind it. How many machine shops are we working with? We do have the 3 machine shops as well. 40 supply lead, though, for Snow overall, but I just don't feel like he's got a good angle of attack. And Rush moving out, he's already built another command center to cap that 6 o'clock location, should he desire so. So, +3 weapons gonna kick in, and he can wait for 200 and just start pushing out. And I don't think Snow has enough, to be honest. Maybe he'll surprise me. But just has +1 weapons, a few control groups, a High Templar, 2 High Templar to work with. So maybe he can get some fantastic Psystorm. Sharp just going to go ahead and sidle out and get that command center at the 6 o'clock, transfer some SCVs. He's now near 200 supply. I'll see if Rush starts moving out or not. I don't even know that he needs to be honest. You can just kind of peck away at this army from a distance. Psystorm being dropped, but those vultures still able to sneak in and pick off that High Templar. Couple Goliaths alongside. Yeah, Snow trying to take another shot. Grabbing that upper right-hand base. That will put him at a good amount of bases. Wow, just kind of throwing away some Zealots to clear some mines. So now it's 200 versus 200. Attack from the right. There is a bit of a scatter there for Rush, so the Siege Tank's not in the best position. A whiff of a Psystorm to the north, however. And overall, I think that was an okay exchange. So Rush's army getting a little bit scattered across 2 locations, but now he has that supply lead and is starting to make movements. The Reavers are still alive, but that's about the only scary component left of this army. Still trying to reinforce. Some High Templar moving up. Are those fresh High Templar, though? Do they have some Psystorm to work with? They do not have Psystorm yet. The Vulture's doing a good job of pinning back those Zealots. Otherwise, the Dragoon's completely gone. Great Psystorm on a bulk of those siege tanks, but still a 30 supply deficit, and this is just looking like a textbook push of 3-2 Terran. Nice little wall right there, so that's going to be challenging to evict. The probes completely evacuating from the main. And yeah, I don't think there's a lot that Snow can do now. So dropping up a High Templar, a pretty good storm, getting yet another siege tank. But he hasn't really reset. Well, okay, he's gotten a couple additional siege tanks out of this. Wow, the follow-up Psystorm have been brilliant to clear out what's left. So now that siege tank count looking a lot more manageable to potentially take out. But this is still pretty hefty. And that Nexus is out to the south. So Rush overextending potentially a little bit. He is at the rally point of Snow. I don't know that there's any Psystorm remaining. Does not look like there is. Some Zealot bombs to the north, forcing some unsieges, and it looks like Rush, yeah, just going to establish a wedge between these 2 locations so he can break off some siege tanks, take out that 12 o'clock, threaten the mineral only to the south, and with the mines in between, Snow can't reinforce and defend either location, particularly being down all of the upgrades and half supply. High Templar dropping on the high ground. Another 2 siege tanks look like they're going to get wiped out. That's really the critical bit, is wiping those siege tanks out. Big army waiting to maybe shove down. They might be able to do it with a really solid engagement. But Rush with a lot of mines, some turrets in between. Looks like he's going to run back to the mineral only. There's still a siege tank on that edge. Doesn't look like it's quite spotted yet. More Zealot bombs trying to stymie and prevent that 12 o'clock from falling. And Snow maybe trying to sneak a counterattack along that left-hand corridor through that Nexus area. It looks like Rush has caught onto it and instead is just pelting him over the wall. It's kind of like lobbing grenades over from a defensive position or some, I don't know. I wish there was a dodgeball metaphor I could use here. 12 o'clock base is now down. Rush wiping out the troops that are trying to sneak along that left-hand edge. The Vulture's going to go ahead and sweep in and drop some mines just in case. And the secondary group of siege tanks now moving in to go ahead and clear out that mineral only. So the main is mined out. The natural expansion's mined out. The rest of Snow's bases look like they're going to fall. Now he's going to try to make a push. Since he drew those siege tanks to the bottom left, going to try to push through and take out these siege tanks on the high ground. Ooh, a Zealot able to get a good attack right there. Might be able to do so, but the Dragoons just completely getting obliterated. They've wiped out the siege tanks that are left, but Snow just doesn't have enough left in the tank to create some... basically, he just doesn't have enough to defend, is what it comes down to. Great play from Rush. Really textbook. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Give it a like and subscribe to StarCast TV if you did. Thank you for listening.